Did you know Zeus once tried to eat his own wife? No joke. The king of the gods was just as wild as the myths suggest. Maybe even more. Let's dive into the untamed story of Zeus, god of thunder, ruler of Olympus, and one of the most powerful and flawed figures in mythology. Zeus didn't start at the top. He was the youngest son of Cronus and Rhea, two powerful titans. But Cronus had a problem. He was terrified that one of his children would rise up and overthrow him. So what did he do? He swallowed every newborn child, whole. One after another, they disappeared into his belly, until Rhea had enough. When Zeus was born, Rhea hid him away in a cave and gave Cronus a rock wrapped in a blanket instead. And Cronus, he swallowed it, no questions asked. Zeus grew up in secret, nurtured by nymphs and guarded by warriors who danced and clashed their weapons to hide his cries. Years later, he returned to face his father. With a potion, he forced Cronus to vomit up his siblings, now fully grown. Then the gods waged war against the Titans. After 10 years of brutal fighting, Zeus and his allies emerged victorious. The Titans were defeated, and Zeus took his place as ruler of the cosmos. Zeus didn't just rule, he dominated. His most iconic weapon? The lightning bolt. Forged by the Cyclopes, these bolts weren't just flashy, they could split mountains. But there's more. Zeus could control storms, summon thunder, and punish with droughts. He could take on any form, animal, human, even mist, often to pursue his romantic interests. And he had authority over gods, mortals, and the natural world. In the divine hierarchy, Zeus sat at the top, but he wasn't invincible. Despite his power, Zeus was far from perfect. He was proud, impulsive, jealous. He feared being overthrown, just like his father, and that fear drove some of his darkest choices. One example? He heard a prophecy that his wife Metis would bear a child stronger than him. So, he swallowed her. Later, their daughter Athena burst out of his skull, fully grown and fully armored. Then there were the affairs. Despite being married to Hera, Zeus had countless lovers, mortal and divine. Many stories show him disguising himself as a swan, a bull, even golden rain. These aren't love stories. They're stories of deception and power. And when mortals crossed him, he didn't hold back. Prometheus gave fire to humanity. Zeus's response? He chained him to a rock where an eagle would devour his liver every day, for eternity. But Zeus wasn't the first sky god. He was part of a much older lineage. Scholars believe Zeus may have evolved from a Proto-Indo-European deity named Dyaus, a sky father figure whose name lives on in Zeus, Jupiter, and even Dyaus Pita from ancient Indian texts. Across cultures, in Hittite, Vedic, and Roman mythology, we find storm gods, thunder gods, sky fathers. Zeus was just the Greek version of an eternal archetype, the sky ruler who commands the storm, protects order, and punishes rebellion. Even today, Zeus still looms large. He shows up in movies, games, and books, not just as a god, but as a symbol. In Disney's Hercules, he's a warm-hearted father figure. In Clash of the Titans, he's majestic and commanding. In God of War, he's a tyrant, manipulative and brutal. In Percy Jackson, he's modernized, mysterious, and constantly watching from above. And in video games like Hades or Assassin's Creed Odyssey, he's part of the background, the culture, the environment, statues, symbols, thunder rumbling in the distance. What's interesting is how Zeus is no longer portrayed as purely heroic. Modern storytellers lean into his flaws, his paranoia, his violence, his hypocrisy. He's no longer a perfect god. He's a mirror to human power and all the danger that comes with it. So who was Zeus? A ruler, a protector, a destroyer. He stood for law, justice, and cosmic order. But he broke those same laws when it suited him. He reminds us that even those with the most power aren't immune to fear, pride, or mistakes. That power alone doesn't make you just or wise, and that every thunderclap in mythology echoes a warning. Even gods fall. Zeus isn't just a figure from ancient stories. He's an idea, one that has traveled through time, changing with every retelling. And like all great myths, his story still holds up a mirror and asks us what we see. If you thought Zeus was just a lightning guy in a toga, well, now you know better. Hit like if you learned something new. Comment your favorite or weirdest Zeus story. Subscribe for more myth-busting takes on the gods and monsters of legend. This is Timeless Tales, and we'll see you next time under the thunder.